Hi everyone, so I recently got a cool bendy arm tripod for my desk, which means I can finally film process videos much easier. So I've decided to start my 2020 album with you here today, and I'm going to be scrapping the whole of January in this video, but thankfully it's only 2 pages. So this is my New Year's Eve page. I tend to do all of my New Year's Eve photos in black and white because they don't tend to be very good quality. It's dark, they're taken on a mobile phone, so I feel like putting them in black and white not only makes the page feel really cohesive, but it also improves the quality of the photos. So every year I go to a New Year's Eve party at one of my friends' houses, and all of my New Year's Eve photos tend to look very similar. It's just that we all get slightly older. These 3x4 cards across the middle of the page are just from various corners of my stash. Some of them are from Simple Stories. In fact, they might all be from Simple Stories, but just from various different collections. And I decided to keep this page really simple. So I'm basically just using some wood veneer stars and a couple of like label stickers on this page. And that's pretty much it in terms of embellishment. Obviously, I'm only just scrapbooking January now, and we are in September, so I'm a little bit behind with this project life, so simplicity is definitely key with this, and I'm also enjoying keeping my albums as flat as possible so that I can keep a year in one album. It's made storage a lot better for me over the last couple of years. So I'm just looking through some of my 6x12 sticker sheets now for some suitable stickers for one of these bottom photos. I think I go with a black heart that has XOXO in it. And then I might go with another little wood veneer star or something. I can't quite remember. I'm definitely sticking something there, and we'll see it at the end. There you go. So apart from the journaling on this card here, which again is from an old Simple Stories collection, this page is pretty much finished. Like I said, I'm keeping it so simple this year. And I feel like the black and white photos are just really classy, and I like to let them speak for themselves, really. So I'm just journaling here about how I felt on New Year's Eve 2020. Obviously, with hindsight, this year has been a very difficult one, but at the time, I felt so full of excitement and hope, and I just journaled about how I hope I always feel like that on New Year's Eve, because it is one of my favourite feelings. So there is a little close-up of my first page for January, and at the end of the video I will show you how these pages sit in the album, because as you can see they are very different. So that was New Year's Eve, and then this is like these are the rest of my photos from January, so I really don't have many, as you can see. January was actually pretty difficult in the end. I was really poorly. I started getting really poorly, and we just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So I ended up in and out of the doctors constantly. I had an intensive course of B12 injections. I was going there every day to have a B12 injection. I ended up with a flu type bug, which made me so ill for weeks on end, and in hindsight could well have been COVID-19. We just will never know, because the antibody tests are not very reliable. So there are not many photos from January at all. And again, as I go through the process videos for this album, because I am intending to film process videos for as much of it as possible, you'll see that some months I really don't have many photos at all. So I've just stuck a little happy die cut with some enamel dots onto that photo there of my master's degree certificate. It arrived in the post in January, which was very exciting. I do actually fiddle around with this page a lot. I change around the cards, I change around some of the papers, I think. I even take off some embellishments. So that embellishment I just talked about on the photo of my master's degree, I actually take that off and replace it with something else later on. It just took me a while to get back into the swing of project life documenting. I've been working on my travel albums for a really long time, and a lot of other themed albums, and it always takes me a minute to get back into just normal sort of daily documenting. And these photos, none of them are particularly inspiring or exciting because, like I said, it was a difficult month, and I always find January quite dreary and difficult to get through anyway. So it just took me a really long time to decide what I wanted to do with these photos. As you can see, I'm moving them around, considering where to put them. and I still move them around again after that. I'm using this little wood veneer that says happy, and I'm going to stick that onto the photo of our wedding invitations. Our wedding invitations arrived in January, and at this point, obviously, we had heard about a new illness coming out of China, but nobody really thought it would affect us at the time, so we didn't think our wedding would be affected at all. Sorry, my dog has just barked at something in the garden. So we were sending out our wedding invites as planned, and I was so happy when they arrived because they were so beautiful. They were just everything that I had hoped they would be, so I've spelt out so very happy there on that photo, and I've popped some washi tape at the top. And then here I'm just using a pen and a ruler to draw a border around this patterned paper. I really love a doodly border, but for this I wanted it to be straight. I wanted it to look like it was sort of properly part of the card. And I originally wanted to write some journaling on this card, but I seem to have run out of tags. So I need to get some tags to add to my stash. So for now, I'm just popping a little heart embellishment on some dimensional adhesive and popping that on there to create just a filler card. And I feel like the layout needed that anyway, because even though the photos aren't particularly great in this layout, there are a lot of them. So it creates just a little space for your eye to rest as you're looking around the layout. This is my title card. I'm not sure where this card came from. I just found it in the depths of my journal card stash. I'm just putting this little XOXO on here. It has nothing to do with the layout. It's like completely irrelevant, but I just really liked how it looked. And I felt like the pink that's on the bottom of that XOXO matched the rest of the layout. I've stamped January the 1st as the date. Because, well, just to symbolise that this is January, really. And then I've written my journaling there just about how it was a bit of a tricky month. And like I said, we had heard about this new virus that was causing issues. But I just said, you know, on the whole, it was fairly normal. And if only we knew how crazy things were going to get. And I have gone round with that pen again. This is when I decide that I really still am not happy with where my cards are and with some of the embellishments. So I'm moving them yet again. And then I think I work on this bottom one while I'm still deciding what to do about the embellishments in the middle row. I think this whole page took me about 40 minutes in the end, which is ridiculous considering it's one page. But sometimes it's just like you don't feel particularly inspired while you're working with a particular spread, and that's okay. Like often I will start something and then come back to it entirely on a different day or something if it's just not working for me. So you can see I've taken off that heart embellishment. It just wasn't working. I don't know why. I loved that little heart embellishment and I'm sure I'll use it on something else, but it just wasn't working for me on this layout. So I replaced it with this pink like flag label sticker. And I just had to carefully write on there because Biro does not really work on those stickers. And I just wrote that my certificate had arrived. And I feel like that looks better. I mean, some people might disagree, but for me, I just felt like it looked better. The pink was a better match. And yeah, I'm just showing you that bottom photo as well. I love that crushing on you so hard sticker for the planners. So here is the finished January layout. I think it turned out okay in the end. I was happier with it by the end. And so now I'm just showing you where it sits in the album. So we have that first page there, a full page photo of Will and I on New Year's Eve, and another one on the back, and that layout. I really hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in my next video.